Hey everybody, happy November, Life of an Average Joe podcast. We made it. We made it through spooky season. And I hope you enjoyed my spooky episodes, everything from movies to haunted houses to the Halloween party to the witch, costumes, just everything that I talked about. Oh god, and my back still jack up in spooky season. It's just always been a favorite time of year for me as long as I can remember. A lot of it has to do with, growing up in Michigan and having that change of weather, from summer to fall and seeing the colors change. And, we don't get that in Texas very much. Definitely not in this area. We get some fall, but it essentially is like summer, false fall, second summer, cooler summer, fall, winter, spring weekend, summer. Like that's what it is. And it's super, wow, I just squeaked super early. Oh, what is on my mouth? It's like a piece of toothpaste just got stuck there. Maybe that's why I whistled. No, it's this gap in my teeth. I'm trying to get fixed. Anyway, but like it's super early in the morning right now. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't able to, actually, it's not 4 o'clock. What time is it? Okay, it's 5:15. I got up at 4. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep. Got up at 4, went for a run, um, and a little tiny good stretch, enough because I realize I'm not stretching very enough. And then now here I am. Luke's at his mom, so I was like, well, I'm going to record and then I'll pick him up from school afterwards. Ran to Starbucks, probably one more pumpkin spice latte in my body, and that's all she wrote for the season. And I've cut down this year. I've cut down. A buddy of mine gave me a recipe for this pumpkin spice cream that you can make at your house, and it's like 12 and a half, $13 to make it, and you put it in a mason jar, and it lasts for a long time, and you can use it as a cold brew, iced coffee, or in your coffee. And I've done it all three ways. I do like it in my coffee because it is a pumpkin cream as opposed to a pumpkin spice. But I prefer it in the cold brew. It came out really good. But I got to go back. This is OG, man, and I've had some great pumpkin spice lattes this season. But I cut back a lot. Money is very tight. I have a lot of things coming up with Christmas, and I got to get a new bed. I got to get a new car. I just things like that. And then my apartment's going to raise their rent in coming up in May. I got to prepare for that. I got to think about that, and because I'm not looking to move again. But these are things that you think about, and you're like, if I'm going to Starbucks twice a week, that's like $15, $14. You do that times 4, and you add that. If you just put that money away, it builds over time. So we are on a tight budget right now. I say we, I mean me. Luke's part of that budget, but he's the expensive one. But I would rather spend that $14 on Luke, if I'm going to blow it. You know what I mean? I'd rather invest it in my son. $14, I can buy him a new shirt. I could buy him a couple, I can buy him something to sleep in. I could buy him, on Amazon, they have these chill hoodies for like $12. They're just single color, $12, thick hoodie, boom. Do that. But because of this, I'm having all these schedules, and I'm thinking about all these things. And we've talked about this on Trash Talk. I've talked about this, on the show multiple times, but I have schedules, I have, like we all do. And so when I say me, I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm the busiest guy in the world and I'm the most important person in the world. I mean, I might be, but there are so many people. Where's my other string, bro? um, there's so many people that have so much other things to do, and there's always people that have it worse than you, right? But I'm only here to talk about me because I think the concept of scheduling and the concept of planning affects everybody, and it affects everybody differently. The month of November for me at work, let me put this in perspective for you. It's always good to plan ahead. It's always, especially in business, it's good to plan ahead, especially this time of year. And it's good to think ahead. There are sometimes you don't have to think too far ahead. You need to balance it, right? And you can't plan for everything, and you got to have a contingency plan at times. But because of my job, And it's these next 2 months are crucial. But it's very event driven. I'm an event guy. I've always been that way, from the bars I ran to the clubs to throwing personal parties. I'm an event guy. That's what I do. I'm good at it, and people respond to it. That's not cocky. That's just facts. Okay. With my job, that's just facts. And I have the receipts to show everybody. So we have a lot of events. We have a big wine event. By the time you guys listen to it, yeah, it'll be on Saturday. We have a big wine event. And then the next day, I have the Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame, Mobile Hall of Fame coming to my store. That's huge because there's no Cowboys game on that Sunday. So it's going to be packed. The next week is our big Home for the Holidays event. We have an engraving. I have a special visitor coming in from Houston. We have multiple breweries coming. One brewery in particular has donated for the event 15-foot tall inflatable balloons that you could see from the freeway. Texas Longhorns, not the football team, but with their logo on it, they light up. All kinds of stuff. And the next week, I got the Snoop Dogg Lowrider coming, and I've got multiple events. And then after that, I've got my sake night. Then I've got Black Friday. Then we've got Thanksgiving. Then I've got Black Friday beer releases. Then I go out of town, and we're back in December. That time frame, that's just my work schedule on top of everything else that goes on at work. So I plan for that, right? That's not to include the stuff I have to do, the deadlines I have at home. Luke's got X events at school that he needs to do. I need to turn in this by this day. I need to pay my rent. Obviously, I did that, but I have to pay my rent. The bills are on a schedule. On top of that, planning to go out of town. Tickets are there. I got to be there at this time. I got to save this money. You look at that. November's jam-packed, but then you're already in December. So you're in December. What's in December? Well, at work, I got XYZ, Christmas, boom, home, boom, we're in January. You barely have time to enjoy those moments, which is why it's so crucial for me to embrace Halloween, to embrace Christmas, to embrace my time off, because time is gone. And I think about it. And the older you get, the more you think about time, whether you want to admit it or not. And you maybe not think about it, but the more impact it has when somebody brings up time, because the inevitable is coming. And this isn't a depressing thing, but death comes for us all. And we don't know when that's going to be. And it's the scariest thing in my life. I'll be honest. I never thought I'd be scared. And it's not like I cower at night. It's not like I cry in the corner. But I am worried because I need to make sure that my business is handled before I leave. And I'm not talking about my job, because they're going to forget about me once I'm in the ground. They're going to forget about me. Okay? They're going to move on. They're going to make their money. And in time, the people that want to remember me won't. I'm talking about my son. I need to make sure that he's in a good spot. I can't leave this earth until he's in a good spot. And I don't have control over that. So you start to look at your age. And age ain't nothing but a number, because 20-year-olds have dropped dead for no reason. 105-year-olds finally croak. But you look at the number and you go, statistically, I'm halfway there. 46, right? Add another 46 years to my life. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Be in my 90s? Is that right, math? Yep. Add another 40 years and you're 86. Almost 87. Okay. I'd like to live longer. But okay. Because you add that to Luke's life, 40 years to Luke, and he's 48. I'll be okay then. I'll be okay. But it scares the crap out of me because I want more time with him. And that's why I sacrifice everything else. That's why I don't drink as much as I used to, because it's going to kill you. Okay? I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying I don't. It's going to kill you. Let's try. why I eat better. I see age in my face, but it could be because it's 5:30 in the morning. I've been up since 4 and I haven't showered yet after my workout. You got little things, little body aches, and you need to get checked, and you gotta get scopes up your butthole and things like that. But I think about that because then you start to think about like every illness is something huge. And that's all it takes is for you to be taken out. So as I'm sitting here thinking about how busy I am spinning in the hamster wheel, I could be missing time. And that's why time feels like it's so fast. And we're moving so fast because planning everything out. Luke's in second grade. And I remember his first day of preschool. And he's growing and he's talking to friends. And I'm seeing him adjust and him trying to figure out his emotions. And next thing I know, he'll be out of this school, be in third grade. At some point, he's done being a kid. How many more Halloweens I got with him before he wants to go with his friends? And I'm at home watching movies waiting for him to give me a call or come over afterwards. You know, sometimes people, and they understand, but I hear things. Brandon doesn't go to this, or Brandon probably won't go. They make it sound like I'm the ultimate bailer. And I am. I don't want to go to every event for work. I just worked my butt off, and you want me to go to an event? I don't want to. But besides that, I don't want to go to everything that you guys do, like my friends do. I don't drink as much as they do. Most of them are in a relationship now. Matter of fact, I don't think I got barely any single friends right now. Most of them are in some sort of relationship. So what am I, the third bump on a log? So I bail. But I bail because I'm investing it in myself and my son. And if people can't understand that, then I don't care. They can go somewhere else. Because if I did go, then how much time am I wasting? You ever just have a day off and do nothing? Do nothing. Guys, we used to do it all the time when we were teenagers. Nothing. And embrace the nothingness. My day off with no kid will consist of me probably still working out and still going for a run. No problem. But if I was to say that's it, that's your one thing. Sitting on the couch, watching movies, reading, chilling with a cup of coffee on the patio, listening to music, maybe scrolling, maybe calling one of those friends I haven't called. Maybe call my friends out of state. Maybe I call my friends back in Detroit, or I call my buddy in Chicago, whatever. But if you ever think about that, just doing nothing, you got out of work at 5 o'clock the day before. You go home and maybe you do a couple of things and eat and go to bed and you get up and you don't have to be to work till 9 a.m. the next day. That's when your responsibility starts. You realize you can have 24 hours of nothingness. It is a long time. It may seem fast, but it only seems fast when you sit there and you've scrolled on TikTok and you've done nothing, or you've wasted your time because you're like, I'm going to do laundry, I'm going to clean, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to sit and watch a movie. And then by the time you get motivated to do that, it's noon, and then you do it, and then it's 4 and your day's gone. But I'm talking about do nothing. That's how you get your time back, and that's how you heal yourself. It is hard for people to do that. It's hard for me to do that. It's hard for me to not respond to texts at work and talk about things. I got where I got because of what I put into my job. Okay? And I put a lot. And I'll probably never get the thanks I think I deserve. Or scratch that. I won't get the thanks I know I deserve. I know that. I see it now. No matter how amazing the company is, no matter how great everybody is, it's just part of it. It doesn't make me dislike my job, but it does make me go, got it. I'm going to not put this much into my job on my day off anymore until next time. You know what I mean? And I'm not bashing it, because I can tell you right now, I am blessed, very blessed for the company I work for. And I will always be that way. I feel that way, but there are things, and part of it is growth, and part of it is just some of the people you encounter along the way. The company may be good, but there's always a-holes out there, right? And I just happen to encounter some. And you have a certain role. Everybody has a role. I'm the frickin' Merc, man. That's what I am. I go in, I shake things up, I clean things up, I make awesome events, I rock it out, I bring that level of customer service that half the people out there don't do, and boom, next. That's my role right now. Might not be my role in 2026. Maybe my role is different, but that's my role right now. It's kind of a thankless job at times, but hey, you see the positivity when you Look at the people that you work with and you watch their growth and you see them on a personal level grow and then on a career level grow. And if I can be any positivity into that and influence into that, then that's the reward. But my point is, take your time back. That's how you get it back. And that's what I do with Luke. Yes, I'm an adult and I have to adult sometimes. And not every day is play day and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes we have bad days. Some days I don't feel like I'm a good parent. Some days I screw up, you know? Some days I'm so freaking tired or sick, I'm not giving him the attention he wants. But I also know, like, dude, he just wants to play, man. My son has always just wanted to play and hang out. Even when he's tired. Dad, you want to just do something real quick? Because he doesn't want it to stop. He doesn't want it to stop because the next day he's got to go to school or because maybe the next day he's not with me. He doesn't want it to stop. I'm his dad. I teach him things, but I'm also the guy that is there to play with him. It's not about a friendship thing. It's just, that's who I am. And that's investing into your kid, you know, letting them marinate, you know, their imagination with you and come up with something cool, letting them be themselves in front of you and not judging and accepting them. That's part of that's part of growing. And that's our job as parents. And that time is a lot more crucial than, hey, can you come to the brewery with me? Hey, do you want to meet me here for dinner? Hey, do you want to go? And it doesn't mean I don't want to do that with my friends because that time's equally as important, which is why I don't do big things. I invite the people I want to invite. And that's all she wrote. Because you know why? Guess what? Another thing for everybody to learn. Take your time. If you have that day off and you can do it, and not everybody can do it, and then there's people like, oh, I could never do that. I always have something to do. Bull crap. Even the most busiest person in the world with much more important stakes at hand has time to do nothing. You create your chaos and you create your busyness and piss your time away. Think about this. Take that day, half a day, if that's all you got, to do nothing and see how many people text you. By the way, I challenge everybody right now to stop initiating text messages and see who texts you. Serious. I would love to see that because I can tell you firsthand, you're going to be surprised how many you don't get. I don't need a text message every day from my friends. Matter of fact, if they text me every day, I'm going to be really pissed off. But it's not just friends. It could be family too. But if you keep hearing from these people, man, we got to get together. I know you're busy, but we got to get together. But they haven't even texted you for any opportunity to get together in like a year. It's not because, I'll use me as an example. It's not because I'm blowing them off. They're just not texting. So why waste your time texting them? It's your time. Time is crucial. Why am I going to waste my time? That's time away from my son. Yes, my son needs a healthy, functional father, right? Who has friends and a life and social and is not bummed out and depressed. Well, I'm not bummed out and depressed. And I care about the people in my life. I just don't need to waste my time with the people that are lingering for some reason. And I'm not going to kill myself for my job. I've told you that. I don't care what type of company you work for. Stop killing yourself with somebody stop killing yourself for people that'll hire somebody else before you're even buried in the ground. Okay? And they send a bouquet to your funeral and they show up and that week is rough at work. And then all of a sudden the new hire's there. Stop it. What are you doing? You think I'm going to take my time away? I've said it before. And I'll say it again, and it's dumb and it's cliche. But if my job ever got to the point where it's interfering with me as a father with my son, I would quit and I'll go shovel dog crap in a cemetery at midnight. Why that's a job, I don't know. But I would take it if it meant I was a better father for my son. I would take a massive pay cut and figure it out. Why? Because my middle name is Figure It Out, if my job was that way. It's not. And this is not talking bad. I'm just the mentality because why? My time is more important. I had opportunities at this job to go somewhere and advance a little bit further. It would require drive time, a lot longer than I wanted. That takes time away from my son. Not happening. Did I stunt my career? Doubt it. Did I slow it down at this time? Sure. Did maybe that put me in a role that I'm in? I don't know. I'm not mad at the role I'm in, but it's convenient for me and my son, and it works for now, and the money works, and the company's great, and I see my future there, obviously. But I'm not going to sit here and play this game because I'm 46, Luke is 8, and I'm not going to waste that time with him. Now, if he was older, 18, 19, 20, again, it's still crucially important that I am there for him no matter what age. But then I could open it up a little bit. You know what I mean? He's 18, he's 19, he's got other things going on. If I had to drive a little further or had to spend a little bit more time away, he would understand that because he's older. But he's not going to understand that now. And I'm not going to waste that time because they grow up so freaking fast. But it gets me thinking all the time. I got to make the best out of everything while I'm here because one day I'm not going to be here. Or one day those moments aren't going to be here. And I want to make sure that my impact on my son is more important than what I did at the clock for people that I could care less about. Most of them. Sorry, it's true. I don't mean that bad, but you don't think about me when I leave work. I don't think about you. That's just life. I said it about the podcast. The podcast gets in the way of me and my son. I'll trash it. I could care less. Guys, it doesn't matter. Especially because I'm not making nearly as much money as I was making a year ago on the show or 2 years ago on the show because of the way they're doing it. And although we are going to the busy season again for podcasting, so maybe that'll be a good thing. But yeah, I mean, time flies by, and I don't think we realize it when we are younger, and I don't think we realize it even when we're older until you sit down and realize how much wasted time you have scrolling with friends that maybe aren't your friends, watching a show you've watched over and over again instead of embracing the new, having a cup of coffee just on the couch while you scroll instead of sitting outside and embracing, taking that peace and that weather and really grounding yourself. You have to ground yourself. I was at the busiest place in the entire universe in Disney, and I felt more relaxed at Disney during that time than I had felt in God knows how long. When I got back, I felt more chill. And it lasted a long time. And that's Disney, guys, with a 7-year-old. Okay. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I'm so glad we got to do it. It was just an amazing experience. I am so happy we got to do it. And yeah, it cost me a lot. Yeah, it hurt. That is something that Luke will remember and we'll talk about and we'll still think about. And that's all that matters to me. And shoot, with everything that's going on in the world, I guess gets me thinking of more time. We're in a government shutdown right now. Think about that. Our government is shut down. Well, if Democrats would come back and just make a deal, well, if Republicans, you guys, it's them versus us. The sooner you all realize that, the better, okay? So Trump and Schumer, and they're all in the same boat. They're just on different levels, okay? Do I think that Trump's an asshat? Yeah, I do. He's an asshat. But the thing with Trump is the difference between Trump and the Democrats are this, or I don't want to say this, all Democrats, but for conversation's sake, the difference between Trump and the Democrats is Trump's been blatantly honest about what he's doing. He told you who he was a long time ago. So we shouldn't be surprised. Democrats hide behind humanity. At least the ones that are in office right now hide behind humanity and hide behind helping you. Yet they're all part of the same problem. And we have a shutdown. Government shutdown. Still the greatest country on earth? Who said that, by the way? What makes this country the greatest country on earth? I'm not bashing my country, and I'm getting back to my subject. It's all connected. I just think that's a dumb statement. Have you been to every country? No? Okay. It's perspective, right? You've grown up here. You've lived here. Oh, you've lived in other countries. Okay, when you were what, 4? You can't say, well, it's our healthcare. Okay. It's our education. No. Well, it's the dollar. Well, it's the economy. Okay. We have the greatest military. Do we? Probably. We do. Others are close. But that doesn't make us great because we have weapons. Well, we have democracy. Really? Democracy's dead. Democracy's dead. You're forced to vote for 2 parties. Okay? You are a 2-party program. You're forced, you're forced to vote for two parties. The Electoral College is a joke. And if you don't vote for those two parties, you're throwing your vote away or towards the other party. Nobody from a third party is going to win, ever. And oh, by the way, they're rich and you're not. Democracy's dead. You act like the propaganda machine is only one-sided from other countries. We live in a propaganda machine. The Republican Party that you knew of 15, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, doesn't exist. The Democratic Party that you know from 10, 15, 20 years ago doesn't exist. The days of presidential leaders, whether you liked them or not, of Bush and Obama and Reagan and all them, like the day of that, JFK, of them being proper, and we got a president dropping F-bombs on national television, threatening his political adversaries, threatening cities that don't vote for him. Democracy's dead. And when I look at that, I look at and think about that, 30 days, 31 days, however long the government's been, 30 days, guys, a month. Our United States of America government, that's how fast time goes by. 30 days. It's the beginning of October through Halloween. We're approaching Thanksgiving. Imagine you work for them and you don't get your paycheck. And it's 1 week no pay and 2 weeks no pay. Imagine how fast your time goes then. Well, that's not us. Most of us. You got to embrace time, because I got to tell you right now, don't be thinking about what you're spending on the holidays and all this money that feeds these greedy corporations so you can buy your loved ones crap they don't need. Think about being with them and investing into that time. Teaching Luke that, yeah, gifts are great, but it's about what we do. He said to me the other day, Dad, when are we going to get the Christmas tree up again? Because we're going out of town. Buddy, I'm going to get it up before we go out of town. So when we come back, it's ready. I just love sitting there at night with the lights off and the Christmas lights on, and we're just hanging out. That's what he says to me. Because it's not about the presents under the tree. Don't get me wrong. He freaked out about his VR set that Santa got him last year, and his video game floor chair. He also still, I think he hasn't used it in a while, but he spent the night drawing in a comic book. It was a make your own comic book that my cousin Julie got him, sent him. Luke's only met her when he was itty bitty, so he don't remember. Sent him. He spent more time doing that over the Christmas than the VR. And guess what? He ain't touched that. No, he still loves the VR. Don't get me wrong, guys. He hasn't touched the VR in a couple days because he wanted to do something with us. Let's do something with us, Dad. What do you want to do? Let's just play with us, whether that be with guys, whether that's drawing, whether that's working on music. He's working on like writing music songs, whatever that means. But he is. He busted his turntables out the other day, or he just wants to draw and hang out with me and put music on. Play poker. We play this Marvel card game. It's just reading. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the time is more important than the gift. So I'm telling you right now, not just for financial institutions being in shambles, not just for our economy being in the tank, because I got to be honest with you guys, I don't have a good feeling. Eventually, corporate pressure is going to cause the government to turn back on, but the rich are still getting rich regardless of us. Because if the government shut down and you have companies like Amazon saying, hey, we've got Thanksgiving dinners for $25, which they should do anyway, people will still be able to get fed. Corporations will be able to make even more money. I don't know if the government's going to come back anytime soon. And could you imagine? They're already cutting or talking about it. Maybe by the time you listen to this, it will happen. The air flights, cutting them down. They're talking about minimalizing flights down by 10 to 15%. That means that you're going to have longer delays as we approach the holiday season. There's potential that if there's no agents and no air traffic controllers next week as they go into their, second or third week without a paycheck, you just get Bob, the janitor, up there being like, yeah, you can land. How safe is it really flying? And I got to fly out on the 29th. I'm telling you right now, if I feel something weird, I ain't going. I'm not. Period. And my parents can just get mad. I don't care. I'm not going. I ain't waiting 4 hours to get on a freaking airplane. Not with my kid, because that tells me something's not right. They shut down the airports. They could shut down. We could be grounded, guys. We've only been grounded once or twice. That was 9/11 and COVID in the beginning. We were grounded. No flights during one of the busiest travel seasons of the year. They don't care. The CEOs will still get paid. Airlines will lose money, but government will bail them out again. Or it's all part of the plan. So my point is, embrace the time you have and stop feeding it to people that don't deserve it. And realize that as you get older, your time is faster because you have more things to think about. You have more concerns and your clock's ticking. I'm sorry. I don't mean to put it that way. All things aside, accidents and health, your natural clock is ticking, and it's scary because I face it sometimes more than I lead on, which is why I'm so devoted. Well, I'm always going to be devoted to my son at this time, but why it's so important for me to lay that groundwork and build those foundations on everything with him and embrace that time. And really more importantly, just show him the love because time doesn't just sit still. And it flies by if you allow it. If you allow work and you allow leeches to suck your time up and doom scroll and, procrastination and it shouldn't be this hard for you to take time off. It shouldn't be this hard for you to embrace a day of nothingness. So don't let it be. And that being said, guys, that's my 36-minute podcast. I'll be probably 40 by the time I'm done talking. I hope you guys have a good one. I'm back next week. I've got an interview coming up. Very excited. I have to find out the details of it, but it's very cool. It's a really awesome opportunity. So I'm going to want all you guys to tune in for this. I will say this. It involves the movies and it involves a director and actor. So, damn it. I'm very excited about it, though. And it's coming up hopefully next week. I'll be able to move my episode that I had originally planned and put this one. But yeah, very excited. Fingers crossed and all that because you know what? It's just cool. I started this thing a long time ago and here we are doing this crazy stuff. So anyway, I'll be back next week at the Life of an Average Joe podcast. Have a great night.